Okay, so there is an absolute tidal wave of cash flooding into artificial intelligence right now. A new report is making the case that a handful of companies are just perfectly positioned to ride that wave. So we're going to dive in and break down the investment case for four, quote, monster stocks that are really set to cash in on this AI spending boom.
So here's a wild question. Will AI create the world's first trillionaire? I mean, think about that for a second. It's a huge question, and people are asking it more and more. It really makes you stop and think about the sheer scale of the financial revolution that's happening right under our noses, right?
And, according to this report, the path to that potential trillion-dollar valuation, it isn't necessarily just about the flashy AI apps you see. It's about the companies building the essential plumbing, the nuts and bolts, the very foundation of this whole new world.
So, who are we talking about? Well, here they are, the four key players we're going to break down today. NVIDIA, Broadcom, Taiwan Semiconductor, and Micron. Now, each one of these plays a totally distinct but absolutely critical role in the whole AI ecosystem.
Okay, so first things first, to really get why these companies are so important, you've got to wrap your head around the just mind-boggling amount of money being thrown around. So let's do what they say in the movies. Let's follow the money. Now, you might have seen this number thrown around a lot, $650 billion. But here's the crazy part. That's just the capital spending from the big four AI hyperscalers. That's it. It's really just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. Right, because when you start to factor in all the other major players, private companies like OpenAI and everything that's happening in countries like China, the real spending figure for this year alone is probably a lot closer to $1 trillion. And again, that's just this year. But here's the number that'll really make you sit up and pay attention. NVIDIA itself projects that by 2030, the annual global spend on data centers is going to hit somewhere between $3 and $4 trillion. That's not a wave of cash anymore. That is a full-blown tsunami.
And this chart, wow, it really drives home the kind of runway we're talking about. I mean, look at that jump from about $1 trillion today to maybe $4 trillion annually in just a few years. So the big question is, where does all that money go? Well, let's find out.
So that first stop for all that cash, it goes to the chip designers. These are the companies creating the powerful silicon brains that make all of this AI stuff even possible. And right here, you see two totally different ways to play the game. You've got NVIDIA, the undisputed king, selling its super powerful general-purpose GPUs to literally everyone. And then on the other side, you've got Broadcom taking a completely different tack. They partner up with clients to design custom, super specialized AI chips. Let's start with NVIDIA. I mean, they're the poster child of AI investing for a very good reason. The demand for their chips is it's off the charts. It's coming from every single corner of the market, from the biggest tech giants all the way down to individual developers. They are, without a doubt, the leader of the pack. And here's the thing that's truly wild. Even though they're already one of the biggest companies on the planet, their growth is actually accelerating. Just look at this. Revenue grew 73% in Q4, and it's projected to jump even higher to 77% in Q1. I mean, that kind of growth at this massive scale is it's almost unheard of. Okay, now let's pivot to Broadcom. They're playing a different game entirely. They are not trying to go head-to-head with NVIDIA. Nope. Instead, they're carving out this massive niche for themselves by helping clients, think Google, think Meta, design their own custom-built chips. These things are hyper-optimized for their specific AI models, which can give them these incredible boosts in performance and efficiency that you just can't get from a one-size-fits-all chip. And whatever you do, don't mistake niche for small. Just look at this projection. Over $100 billion in AI chip revenue by the end of 2027. $100 billion. That really tells you everything you need to know about how huge this custom strategy is becoming. All right, so we've talked about the brain designers. Now let's talk about the companies that provide the essential infrastructure. You've heard the saying, right? During a gold rush, sell picks and shovels. Well, these next two companies are the ones selling the picks and shovels to all the AI gold miners. And that brings us to our third company, Taiwan Semiconductor, or as you probably know it, TSMC. To get their role, you just need to know what a chip fabricator or fab is. Simply put, they're the ones with the gigantic, unbelievably complex factories that actually build the chips designed by companies like NVIDIA and Broadcom. And this quote right here, it just perfectly sums up their brilliant spot in the market.
As long as that tsunami of AI spending is happening and more chips are needed, TSMC wins. They don't care if it's an NVIDIA chip, a Broadcom chip, or an Apple chip. They get paid to make all of them. They're like the ultimate arms dealer in the chip wars. All right, our final company, Micron, is kind of in a similar boat, just with a totally different product. They make something called high bandwidth memory, or HBM. It's what these monster AI chips are absolutely starving for. Think of it like a super wide, super fast expressway for data to get into the AI's brain. And here's the key. Right now, the supply of this stuff is incredibly tight, and that's sending prices through the roof. And get this, that supply crunch isn't going away anytime soon. The market for this special kind of memory is projected to just explode. We're talking from $35 billion next year to $100 billion by 2028. For a company like Micron, that is a massive tailwind pushing them forward. All right, let's bring it all home. What's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it's pretty simple, really. There isn't just one single way to win in this AI boom. There are multiple, really distinct paths to success. So here's the bottom line. You've got 4 completely different ways to play this. You can bet on NVIDIA, the undisputed market leader. You can bet on Broadcom and the whole movement towards custom, high-efficiency solutions. You can bet on TSMC, the arms dealer, building the chips for absolutely everyone. Or you can bet on Micron, providing the critical memory that the whole system needs to function. And that really is the question to leave you with, isn't it? We are watching a spending spree of historic proportions unfold right before our eyes. It seems almost certain that new titans of industry are being forged. So the real question isn't if, but where. Where will the most value be created? Will it be with the designers, the customizers, the manufacturers, or the suppliers of those essential components? It's definitely something to think about as this AI revolution just keeps picking up speed. Thanks for joining me.